Hello, and welcome to the season finale of River City Runs Red, our Vampire the Masquerade chronicle here on Restless Barbarian Gaming. I am your storyteller, Aloysius. Hello to all my lovely players. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be here.
Yep.
Tom, we start with you.
Okay. Hey.
The shock in the eyes is what I
so-
hope for every time.
So one in three odds. So
Yes.
Hey everybody. Tom. That is Bolthra here on the internet. I am playing Ephraim, a Malkavian DJ who's gonna be hurting a little bit when we start up the game. So
He certainly is.
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be calling for DoorDash to help him recover.
Yeah. I'm probably next, right?
Go for it.
Okay, so...
Speak your truth.
All right, I'm Jen. I'm playing Delilah Cole, who is a Nosferatu that mostly feeds off of rats, but may change her mind at some point. You never know.
Oh wow, that's a little scary, actually. What happened?
It could have some scary implications.
It could be, yes. Well, Nosferatu. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah,
Aren't
scary
you
is on
tired
brand
of
for them.
being nice? Don't you want to go ape shit? All right. Well, I am Tiara. I play Evane Mallory. She's just a hot mess in general, and I leave it at that. If you've been watching, you know at this point that she is a hot mess. And yeah, excited.
Yes, and we love her for it. Unfortunately, Nanad could not join us tonight, but we will push on regardless because unfortunately we can't push this game back too much for him to be able to join.
Mm-hmm.
But so where last we left off with the coterie, shenanigans happened when trying to infiltrate this Fulton Heights drug den, and ultimately resulted in Ephraim getting pretty horribly burned by the Thin Blood Marcus. But the coterie was able to successfully convince Alyssa to, at the very least, hear out what some of the Camarilla higher-ups had to say, and also were collectively able to capture Marcus, as Evane seemed to at least pique his interest in what they potentially had in store for him. But we will be picking up a few nights after this instance. And all of you have been summoned to the diocese once more for something that has not been disclosed to you. But before we get to any of that, we're going to go around individually and see what everyone has been up to the past few nights, and sort of what, if anything, they are doing before they have to reconvene at the diocese. And I suppose we'll start with injured boy Ephraim over here.
Are you sure it's going to be a bunch of rolls? I don't know if you want to let everybody else go first and then...
Oh my.
I guess before we get into
I'm
it,
invested in this.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to hold anybody up. So.
Yeah, I would say,
go
I
ahead.
guess, but so we'll sort of like be freshly starting it with everybody at Hunger 1, since it's a few nights later.
Oh, okay.
Though I suppose the question is, Ephraim, in the intermittent days between then and now, have you slowly been healing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He has. Jose has been bringing some girls by. and he has been trying to heal himself by consuming mass quantities of blood.
Okay. We will say that it's been 3 days since the incident, so you can attempt to heal up to 3 points of the aggravated damage. And each point of aggravated damage requires 3 rouse checks before you can heal it.
Now, he was at 3 hunger.
Yes.
So am I now down to 1 before I start?
If you
at 3.
I would say if you chose to feed before you start the healing process, then we can say that you start at 1.
Okay. All right. Let me just clear that out then, so that's not utterly screwing myself. So okay. All right. So now he's gonna try. He's gonna try 3 rouse checks to see if he can heal 1 of the points. So
all right. Day 1.
So, day 1. Success. Okay. Fail.
All right.
Fail.
All right.
he's
So
now
back up to 3 hunger.
Okay.
And we'll say that Jose isn't able to bring you a girl like every day or anything like that. So going into night 2, we'll keep you at 3 hunger.
Okay. All right. So I'm rolling again then. Okay. Hunger 4.
Oh no.
1 success. Okay. And hunger 5. I eat Jose.
What about Jose?
Do we want to roleplay this out?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I cut out at the most inopportune time.
I am at hunger 5.
At hunger 5, you eat Jose.
At this point.
Okay.
Oh my.
I mean, anybody who comes into the house, I'm probably going to jump on them.
Okay.
Here I was gonna say Vane would send you soup, and by soup she means she would send you Panera delivery people. But if you want to eat your dude,
yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
up to the storyteller.
Okay, sure. We'll play this out. Okay, so day 2, hunger 5. You do still manage to heal yourself. So you're down 2 aggravated at this particular point in time.
Good deal. All right.
Remind me exactly where your haven is. Do you just stay in the club, or do you have a separate haven?
No, he has a separate haven. It is a shitty apartment somewhere in a probably cheaper part of town.
All right. We will say that you heal yourself, but you are a frothing beast right now, pacing around your apartment. You're ready to sort of just basically like leap out a window or just sprint into the hallway and just get the you don't even care about being picky at this point. You just want to make this hunger and pain go away. When outside your door, you hear a knock on the door, and you hear Jose's voice on the other side of the door talking to somebody else, saying, yeah, he's not feeling the best right now, but he's a really cool guy. I think you'll like him a lot. And he is sort of like, it's more of like a warning knock as the door slowly begins to open when standing in the doorway, Jose and a young, pretty blonde.
One of the E's.
Yes, one of the several E's.
Courtney, Brittany,
Christine,
whichever.
We'll say this is Stephanie.
Okay.
And The two of them begin walking in.
Mhm.
Do you just go on impulse as to which one you go after, or do you or do you like try and like hone in on a specific one of them?
He's going to try to hone in on the girl. He's kind of moved to a spot where he's not obviously visible to them.
Okay.
But his fingers are like probably like gripping into the wall. Like he's probably like putting his fingernails like into the wall, like trying to hold himself in place. But yeah, he's like looking at the girl.
All right, make me a willpower check.
Oh boy. Okay. Success.
All right. So you Jose's technically the first one to enter the apartment, and almost instinctively you just want to go for him, but you're like, no, I kind of treat him like trash, but he's still my homie.
He's my trash.
Yes, he's my trash. I don't want to eat him. There's a nice pretty blonde there, she'll do nicely.
Yeah.
And so basically as soon as Jose closes the door, you are on this girl in an instant. And you sink your teeth into her, and she screams very briefly in surprise.
He's gonna put his hand over her mouth and like try to like close her mouth, like.
Yep, and she sort of like it sort of just like slumps in your arms a little bit, and are you trying to gain a semblance of control in this moment, or are you just letting it ride?
Letting it ride.
All right. At first, she sort of like slumps in a way where she's sort of just like leaning into your touch, but then she starts like sort of like trying to like feebly grasp at you, and she starts like convulsing a little bit before just like going limp entirely.
And once he's done, is she dead?
Oh yeah, she's dead.
Okay.
So you're at hunger 0 now.
Okay. All right.
Because you have killed this young lady.
Yeah.
And drained her dry.
Yep. So
basically, as soon as you were like got on her in like such a vicious manner, Jose like backed up and like pressed himself up against the wall, because I'd argue that more than likely you've never let Jose see you like this.
Yeah, never.
So
never.
So this is a whole new side of you that he is terrified of.
He is gonna, as soon as he's done with her, he's gonna lick the wound. I don't know if that's still a thing in this edition.
It is, but she is now a corpse, so it does nothing.
Yeah, but it's just a corpse without 2 little bite marks on her neck.
Yeah.
She's exsanguinated, but anyway. He's gonna just kind of hold her in his arms, and he's gonna look over at Jose and be like,
"What the fuck, dude?
Relax.
What the fuck?"
Compel. He's gonna have to compel him then, because I'm afraid he's gonna bolt. Actually, cloud memory is probably better at this point. He's gonna try cloud memory, so that he doesn't have this horrible memory of watching me kill this girl.
Okay, so you just tell him to forget.
Yeah. 3 successes.
All right. You just tell him to forget, and he practically like zones out for a moment. He goes from panic to like a brief catatonic state before you see him sort of like come back to himself, and he looks down at you, cradling the now dead Stephanie, and he like starts looking around himself, and he's like, What the fuck happened? What happened, dude?
Focus.
I was just walking with her a couple minutes ago, and now she's dead on your floor.
She was very ill. and has died. I need you to get rid of her.
What? Dude, I do a lot for you, but I've never had to dispose of a fucking
Compel.
dead body before.
All right, now we're breaking out compel. So,
Okay.
Oh wow.
2 successes.
2 successes. So you just tell him, get rid of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be
And-
and be very careful with this, but get rid of her body.
And you see him sort of like stop protesting, and you sort of like see his like mind racing a mile a minute, like he's trying to go through like every true crime documentary and episode of CSI and NCIS he's ever seen on what the best way to
You're smart.
handle the situation is.
You're smart. I'm confident you'll figure this out.
Do you have any like sheets I can use or anything?
Yeah, and he'll find that not the 100 count Egyptian whatever, he'll have some cheap sheets that he'll wrap up, and he will. Oh no, hell no, he's not carrying a body. No, he'll let Jose take care of that. So
Yeah. Jose's stronger than you anyway, so
yeah. And if Jose needs to feed, he will feed him before, if he thinks that'll give him a little boost of energy and loyalty.
a boost of liquid courage, if you will.
Yeah. He'll offer to feed Jose if you feel like you need a little something. I can help you out, my friend.
I mean, it might help
while,
calm me.
hasn't it?
Yeah, that has been a bit. Yeah. I mean, you've been so busy lately, and
He cuts his hand or cuts his wrist and offers it to Jose.
all right, and he, it like takes your hand and just starts like drinking from the wound.
That's a boy. Good boy.
And can you make me a rouse check for
Of
this?
course. Success.
All right, you don't get any hungrier. And as much as he wants to keep feeding, he sort of like forces himself to stop because
Yeah.
you have given him an order, and he must fill it out to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
Okay. And he sort of like lays out the bed sheet and drags her onto it and like wraps her up in it, and
he actually has his apartment is actually a basement apartment with no windows. So at worst, that maybe like one set of stairs he probably has to go up to get out the door. So odds are he's probably not going to go past anybody. Again, that's his problem, not mine.
yeah. Like if he gets caught, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
But
Only murders in the building. So
yep. He wraps her up and ties it up so the sheets won't come loose, and he opens up the door to the apartment and starts dragging her into the hallway, and he just says, "I'll take care of it," and starts dragging her away.
it's a cheap place, so there's no cameras. So that's purposely why he chose it. There's like no security, no cameras. So
all right.
and he shuts the door and goes back doing whatever he wanted to do that evening. So.
Yeah, sounds good. And he's feeling much better now.
Oh yeah, $1 million now. Okay.
Yeah. I will say you gain a stain for that, though.
Ah, darn. Okay.
She had a family.
I'm sure she did. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, because you did unintentionally or not, you did murder a woman who was doing nothing to you.
who knows? Maybe maybe she. Who knows? You can't tell the future. I mean, maybe she might have been maybe she might have been a bad person who at some point was gonna like get a DUI and like hit somebody or
I don't know. I feel like you
I
should stretch before you reach so far.
I imagine this is just like Ephraim's just pacing in his apartment, just rationalizing what happened to himself.
He doesn't. He honestly, she's already forgotten.
All right.
Yeah. It's crazy, but you know what?
Yeah.
Well, that warrants the stain even more, in my opinion.
I'm trying to find a foundry where you put stains, but I think
know.
it's more like a note or something like that. I'll put it in there. Okay, one stain noted. Thank you.
All right, we will take care of that at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else planned for that night, or shall we move on to round of rouse checks? All right, round of rouse checks, day 3.
Okay, day 3.
Okay.
Oh, not mine. I don't have to roll it. Never mind. So,
Got one something.
you got a success.
Success? Okay.
Yep. Make sure you got the chat messages up. It'll tell you.
Oh well, good. I would say good to know good to know when we get to Delilah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yes, Ephraim, can I get yours? So, unless you are just
we go.
gone. Can we get
her? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so you need me to do those 3 last?
Yes, those last 3 rouse checks.
Okay. All right. 1 failure. 1 success.
Oh, nice.
And 2 successes. So
2 successes. All right. So you're a hunger 1.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Back to the baseline.
2 successes.
Cool. Well, Yvain would only have to make one. I would say, Yvain would only have to make 1 rouse check, but good to know.
Oh, okay, cool. Never mind, I passed.
All
right. Are either of you itching to go next?
Either way.
Or shall I just pick and choose?
Pick and choose. Go ahead.
All right. We'll move on to Delilah then.
Okay. So Delilah has been sitting in her basement apartment and looking at a lot of social media sites to see what Cece was like thinking about before she died.
Okay.
If she's there, and she could be going under a fake name or something on them, but it just seems like something that Delilah would want to know about.
Yeah. Make me a intelligence technology check to see if you can sort of like track down her social media.
Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay, intelligence and technology.
Yes. Well, technically on Foundry, I guess it's technology. Yes, it's backwards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is just wonderful for dyslexics like me, man.
Yeah,
it's great.
I know, it doesn't make it confusing at all.
Okay, so it was technology first and then
intelligence.
Okay, so we're doing that. Not sure. Oh wait, yeah, 4 successes.
All right, easy enough.
Yeah.
You do manage to track down her ex, formerly known as Twitter, account, and you notice that she had a lot, like in the few days before she met her final death. She was posting a lot of sort of like contemplative and like inspirational like poetry quotes.
Okay. Good to know. And then I'm going to check to see if she's on any other sites.
You do notice that she also had an Instagram.
Okay.
And she mainly she had like an occasional selfie here or there, but she mostly posted pictures of like different parts of the city and like cityscapes and that sort of thing.
All right. Wow. It's too bad she's gone, That's about it, I guess. That's what she was trying to do, is just figure out what happened before she died,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She meet up with anybody or talk to anybody in the interim, or is kind of just like decompressing after the past few days.
That
Oh,
she's doing that.
okay.
Yeah, and then she's
All right.
next. She's gonna like look up the local library and see if there's any books that might make sense of things. Yeah.
Like look up some poetry books or anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trying to get into like
Cece's
Celia's,
head.
get into her headspace.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sure. That's easy enough. For you to
have
be
them
able
delivered.
to.
Be like, I have a skin condition. I need you to.
Yep, I
you
don't
know?
like. I don't like going out. Even the
Yeah.
moonlight hurts my skin.
Yeah, something like that. And so I'm sure I'm going to be getting like all the big name poets and stuff coming in. And then I'll send them back. You know. Yeah.
All right. Sounds. All right. Sounds good. All right, Evane.
Hello.
What you been up to the past few days?
So, well, I have a question. Where was Marcus taken?
Marcus was seemingly taken away to see the sheriff by Rick, which you imagine would have been either Elysium or wherever the sheriff's office is located, which you do not know that information offhand, but you gather it's one of those two locations.
Could I have attended if I went to Elysium?
Sure, if you want.
I think I'll do that.
All right. So you go along with Rick, and Alyssa also accompanies you, and Rick ends up stowing Marcus in the trunk, and he ends up sort of like tying and restraining Kiara and putting her in the back seat next to Alyssa.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like on the drive over, Rick will look over at you and say, "You doing okay?"
I mean, yes. This was a very eventful, this was a very eventful night. I feel bad for Ephraim.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't get hurt at all. I consider that lucky.
Yeah, well, you gotta take luck where you can get.
That is very true. So, actually, hold on. I am thinking, is that a good question to ask?
Okay. Think away.
So, would Evane know if Kindred can still, like, perceive what is going on around them even after they've been staked? And they're, like, in that petrified kind of form?
I would say for a kindred of your age, you would know that it is sometimes possible to still be able to perceive like certain things when you're staked. Like if great effort is put into it, then sometimes they're able to like move their eyes, but that's about the extent of like what they're able to move. But as far as like hearing, sight, those still more or less carry on to a certain degree, unless prevented.
Okay, so she'll simply just say, "What about you?" instead of what she was going to, because probably shouldn't talk about Marcus's fate while Marcus can hear in the car.
Yes, I would say I will make note that Marcus is in the trunk, if that makes a difference to you.
I've never been in a trunk, so I don't know how well people can hear. Generally, I don't really know how to measure that diminished hearing.
From the okay, speaking from experience, from from the if they're talking in the front seat, bit hard to hear. It's pretty muffled, especially with the car driving and all that.
Okay. I think Yvain then she'll just kind of not really whisper, but just kind of like the very low tone, I suppose. Look at Rick and say, "So, do you have an idea of what's going to happen with?" And she just kind of points a thumb towards the trunk.
Yeah. Well, he'll certainly be interrogated, find out his motivations, what exactly he was attempting to do. And I suppose, depending on how the prince and sheriff are feeling, they'll deem his usefulness as a asset in some regard and go from there. I will say that it doesn't look like it's going in his best favor offhand, but I guess we'll see.
Right. She just kind of nods.
And he sort of like gestures to Kiara, who's unconscious in the back seat, and
Uh-oh.
Oh no! Say something, I'm giving up on you.
we love suspense.
That was almost
Maybe.
perfectly timed.
Yeah. He gestures. Sometimes it works out that way. He gestures to Kiara in the back seat and says, "Her fate is a bit more up in the air. If she proves competent and helpful, then they may try to bring her into the fold along with Alyssa back there." I suppose we'll have to wait and see on that front, though.
Thane will just kind of nod. Well, and then she'll say, "Do you think we'll find out tonight?"
Unlikely. They'll probably want to have people speak with the both of them, well, all three of them separately, see what they know, find out exactly what was going on, get some context for things, and we likely won't know exactly what is going to happen for at least a few days, maybe a week.
All right. I think that's kind of all the questions she had about it. She's kind of.
All right.
I don't know if she's ever gone to many like Elysiums or anything like that. I think she generally kind of like just tries to stay out of trouble as best she can.
Yeah, fair enough.
And where there are kindred, there's trouble, essentially.
Yeah. And you so then you sort of sit in silence the rest of the drive before you go to a parking lot behind the Elysium, and Rick ends up getting out of the car and waiting for you are two men. One is Hassan, the man who helped perform the autopsy, and the other is a man that you saw briefly that first night in Elysium, who had been talking with both Rick and Hassan. He is dressed in priestly attire, and he has short, slicked back black hair and a short, well-groomed goatee, and sort of like dark, piercing eyes. And Rick, as he like gets out of the car, he asks, "Do you want to wait here, or do you want to hop out?"
She'll wait here. Wait, when he says hop out, what does that
Like
mean?
hop out of the
join?
car. Like hop out of the car and like join him with the others.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, she'll join him with the others.
All right. So the two of you get out and walk over to the two men, and the priest Emmett says to Rick, "I see you brought some company." And Rick says, "Yeah, she's from the coterie I'm shadowing. She wanted to tag along and make sure that the Thin Bloods got here properly." Evane Mallory, this is Sheriff Aiden McCoy. You've met Hassan Atia previously.
Okay, I feel like I should write these names down because I will not remember them. I'll give you 1 second here. Sorry.
No, all good.
No worries.
Aiden McCoy.
Aiden McCoy. MACQUOID.
Okay, got it. That's the sheriff. And the other guy? Do you say the other guy is Hussein, the one who did the autopsy?
Yep. 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 Hassan Atia.
Oh, Hodson? I'm sorry.
Yep, Hassan.
Hassan. Okay, I've got it. I don't know where I got that name from. I'm sorry.
It's all good. And Sheriff McCoy extends a hand to you.
Okay.
A pleasure to properly make your acquaintance, Ms. Mallory.
She will shake his hand and say, "Yes. I mean, thank you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance as well." And she kind of holds onto the handshake a little too long.
Yep.
And then let's go.
Yeah, as you hold on to it a little too long, you see him sort of like cock an eyebrow, not in like a I'm offended kind of way, more in a is this girl okay kind of way. And
She's not.
yeah, and then but as soon as you like let go, he like brushes it off as if it didn't happen, and he sort of like maintains a bit of a stoic, and he says to you, "So I hear that I have your coterie to thank for taking down these troublesome Thin Blood."
Are the people that we're bringing in the car?
Yes, they are all still in the car.
Okay. Are the windows rolled up?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I just feel like it would be awkward to be like, yes, and they're like, we're right here. We're
Yes.
standing
Well,
right here.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
thinking about trying to bring us in over to your sides. That's really crazy.
Yeah. Are you get the feeling that sort of like based off of this guy's general demeanor that he probably would not care if they heard him or not?
Okay, that's fair. What a terrible person. I love him. Um Sorry. Anyway,
All right.
I love
All right.
terrible characters. Fantastic. It's my bread and butter. But she will just nod and say, yes, obviously I did have some assistance from Rick, but the coterie worked well together to try and solve this issue.
The sheriff will be the prince will be very glad to hear that.
The sheriff,
me, the sheriff, I am very happy to hear that. I now speak in the third person.
Right.
Yes. Yes, you're giggling
I'm
just
sorry,
every time.
I'm gonna be.
Yes, the prince will be very happy to hear that. We do appreciate an efficient group.
I was still laughing. I wasn't expecting to have to talk again.
All good, all good.
She will just kind of nod quickly a few times and then kind of defer to Rick, like, what now?
Yeah, and it's sort of like as you look to Rick, he returns your eye contact and then takes over, and says, "So I assume we are bringing them all in for interrogation now." And the sheriff said, "Yes, that is the plan. I heard there is a fourth thin blood who is still out there that was not at the premises." And Rick says, yeah, he should hypothetically be at or near the local hospital. Really skinny, tweaker looking guy. And the Sheriff McCoy looks over at Hassan and says, "Go claim him." And Hassan sort of like gives a respectful, light bow and says, "With pleasure." And he heads off to a separate vehicle in the parking lot, hops in, and drives away. Rick, take these thin bloods to my offices, and I will ensure they are interrogated properly. And Rick says, "Of course, Sheriff." And he looks back to you, Yvain, and says, "I can take you with me to lock him up, or I can drop you off wherever first."
Oh, this is Rick, right?
Yes.
Sure. I mean, she'll go with him to. Well, no, she'll go with him because she's already come this far. So why not?
So why not?
Mm.
All right. And he looks back to Sheriff McCoy and says, "Good night, Sheriff." And he says, "Good night, Hound." And
can I insight that?
sure.
You had some inflection in your voice that made it sound
Oh
a
my.
little shitty, and I gotta know.
I gotta know if it was shitty or
I
not.
gotta know if it was shitty.
Sure. Make me a wits insight real quick.
Okay. Please. Let's go. Okay. I have 4 successes.
4 successes.
Mhm.
Okay. Sort of like based off of the intonation of like how the sheriff is speaking to Rick, you gather that the sheriff doesn't necessarily think the most highly of him,
Mhm.
but he's obviously keeping him around for a reason.
Mhm. I can hear wedding bells. It's amazing. So what a terrible person.
It's like,
So rude. Rick is amazing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, terrible person. Let me husband that man up real quick.
Just kiss him already.
This is how my brain works when it comes to fictional people.
I mean, can say that that is accurate based off of our last campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you and Rick head back to the car and drive off, and you arrive at the diocese, and which seems to be where the sheriff's office is located, which in hindsight, seeing him makes a lot of sense. And you help escort Alyssa and Kiara in, and then on a separate trip, Rick brings Marcus inside, and he puts all of them in separate rooms.
Okay. How is Kiara awake now, or Kiara?
Yeah, she seems like a little dazed, but a little dazed and confused, if you will. But she is more or less going along with it because Alyssa's just telling her to shut up.
I think. So I think Vane's gonna just kind of turn to Rick and say, "Should we get them water? And then let's drink water. Do they do that?
I think it depends on the thin blood.
Do you
I
guys
mean-
drink water? Can they? Is there like a slat through which she can call through the door? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Kiara, do you need some water?
I'd appreciate not being in a room, but
Well,
sure.
that's not an option. Sorry, but
Well, then
I
yes, I'll
think
take the water.
Okay. Also, does she have like a knot on her forehead from where Alyssa beat
From
her?
where Alyssa
essentially?
like beat her in the head with her purse.
Yes.
There's like a there's not so much like a lump, but there's like a mark that was like left on her forehead.
Okay. I don't know where in this building to get water, but Evane's gonna go get water for Alyssa and Kiara.
Okay. You go and get them water, and Alyssa respectfully declines the offer, but Kiara takes the water as you like pass it off to her and then like close the door.
Okay. Well, she'll say, "Now what?"
Well, now we leave them here until I'm told otherwise, or the sheriff comes in to deal with it personally. But in the meantime, I suppose I take you home.
So do you do you watch the interrogation? Do you join in on the interrogation?
Sometimes I'll interrogate by myself. Sometimes I'm not involved at all.
Can I insight how he sounds about that?
Sure. Make me another wits insight check. Just read these people like a book.
So here's the thing, right?
Okay.
I think that for Evane, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff she just doesn't do too well. And she's socially awkward. We know this. We love it.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you remember from her backstory, like, she is very good at acting like she has it together, or even charismatic enough in an odd way to get information from people.
Very true.
And so, as much as I think she annoys the hell out of her sire, I think that there's that recognition that she is very good for that.
Yes.
And I think it's just kind of ingrained at this point that, like, she's always kind of got an ear out to kind of, I guess, acquire information to feed to whoever she needs to feed it to.
Mm-hmm.
And relationships and power structures with these kindred is everything, so why not, right?
Exactly. Find the weaknesses where you can.
Okay, not as good. So I got 3 successes.
3 successes is still not shabby at all. You gather that when he says it, he doesn't sound hurt or anything. If anything, he sounds slightly annoyed, but also but also there's like an understanding there because he's not the top dog.
Okay. So they don't exactly have a tense working relationship, but it's definitely not a healthy one.
Yes, it is. Yes, you can sort of gather that it is functional and it more or less functions perfectly fine, but it is certainly not the best it could be on like a person-to-person level.
I think Evane's going to pry a little bit here. And this
right.
should be her last thing. I think that she...
And we'll say you two are sort of like walking out of the building at this point.
Perfect, yeah. I think that Evane's gonna kind of pick up on that and kind of slide in it's really interesting though. So if you're, especially considering that you kind of worked on this with us, I would think that you would interrogate, but I guess I still don't really, I don't know. I guess I never really paid too much attention to the innermost workings of our society. But if you had the chance to decide what was going to happen, like, I guess, like, what would you recommend? What would you do?
Actually, make me a manipulation persuasion check real quick.
You got it. You got it.
just to see how open he ends up getting.
Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, and I'm going to use a willpower.
Excellent. Love it.
Am I allowed to use more than one willpower? Or can I only use one willpower?
Technically, no, but I'll allow it because why not? I'm in charge here.
Well, hell yes. Okay. So that means
it's season finale.
Like,
we can be a little loose.
Hell yeah. Okay, I love this. I will let you know I'm rolling with 9 dice.
Oh,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. You see him at first
She's
in
just
response
so
to
innocent.
yeah, exactly. She's so easy to confide in. But sort of like in like quickly in response to you're saying him not being involved in the interrogation, he says, I might be involved with one of them, but I think the
You guys hear my cat?
Yes. but
He's
not our
so
storyteller.
angry. Not a storyteller. I just
yeah, yeah.
All right, what
froze,
was
and then all of a sudden I hear the cat screaming like, "Let me in!"
all right, what was the last thing that you heard?
Um, I'll be involved with one of the interrogations.
Okay, but more than likely he'll have Hassan taking charge with these particular interrogations, as dealing with thin bloods is a specialty of his.
What do you mean by specialty? How does one have a specialty in the thin bloods?
He is he was appointed this city's scourge.
Okay. I know Tiara, have heard this term before, even though I
Mhm.
don't quite remember what it means. But I don't know if Yvain knows. Is
Yeah,
there some
okay.
kind of role for that? Or
Sure, you can make me a roll to see if you know what that is or not. Make me a intelligence politics roll.
okay. Hmm? Okay. 6 and an 8, so 2 successes.
Okay. You know sort of like the bare bones of it. You know that for a good long while, a scourge was not the most common position to be held at Camarilla Court, but in more recent years, with the influx of thin bloods, it's come back into popularity in Camarilla cities. Essentially, a scourge is in charge of going around and executing thin bloods and basically just
Oh,
basically just like troublemakers who won't fall in line with the Camarilla.
okay, so
And
not all thin bloods, just the ones
not all thin bloods, but
the ones that the Camarilla don't like.
yes, the one that is that the Camarilla don't like, and it's not exclusively thin bloods, but in more recent years, because of the influx of thin bloods, that has taken up a lot of the attention.
Well, wow.
And I personally don't know much about Hassan as an individual, though I know that he was formerly a sheriff in a different city and a Qadi in an Ashira city. A Qadi is more or less the equivalent of a sheriff for them.
Oh. So I guess I'm confused then. Is Scourge considered a a promotion of sorts, or like
Scourges are allowed a bit more independence. They still ultimately answer to the sheriff and the prince, but they don't need to consult them on most things the way that I do.
wow. Oh, that's interesting.
It's
Has he been the Scourge for a long time now?
only in the past year or so when they've started laying the ground. Only in the past year or two since they started laying the groundwork for the Camarilla. I know he ended up coming into court later than when many of the other positions were established.
Okay.
That's, well, I suppose to answer your question initially, if I had a say in what to do, I would likely allow Alyssa and Kiara into the fold should they choose it, or at the very least let them leave the city if they choose not to. And for Marcus, if he proves useful and informative, keep him around under lock and key, and if not, just give him his final death.
That makes sense to me. Do you think it's likely that that will be the outcome?
For Marcus, yes. For the other two, I'm not as sure.
Even for Alyssa?
Maybe her. I think the odds are more in her favor than Kiara's.
Well, it seems she's already made her peace with that.
I should get you home.
Yeah, it's like 4 a.m. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, sun won't be up for another few hours, but, better get there early just in case.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. So he drops you off, and now we will cut to the present. Unless there was any other quick stuff that Evane wanted to cliff notes before we all convene.
I think that Vane just kind of pages the group like, hey, I went to go make sure they got taken to where they're supposed to go, and also found out some information that I'm willing to share. If you would all like to hear it, if you want to meet up, let me know.
Delilah's gonna type back. Sounds good. Where are we going?
I've been to a club. To a coffee shop.
Denny's.
Denny's?
No, Waffle House.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we had to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah.
It can't be
come in,
Denny's
they never
every
eat
time.
Right.
It can't be Denny's every time. Yeah, they'll get too suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Waffle House. I think we'll fit right in. It's fine.
Okay.
Busy throwing chairs and fighting.
Yeah. All right, to the Waffle House it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As if there's a Waffle House in Grand Rapids. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Hey. This is fictional Grand Rapids. We can pretend.
Yeah. Okay. How far away is it? Or is it just in a walkable location?
30-minute drive.
30-minute drive. Okay. Delilah does not drive, so she's just gonna head
Hour-long
out.
bus ride.
Yeah, that's probably it. She's gonna do that.
You can always take an Uber. Or Lyft.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have those little those motorized scooters around the city as well. Or the bicycles.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, she'll probably get an Uber and just like put her
We
mask
need
on.
fan art of that. Of her.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
I'm
yeah.
going to say Vane shows up on one of those little like Uber bike things. that you
Okay.
can rent.
They do have
Yeah.
those. I would say they do have like those new scooters everywhere.
Yeah.
all over
Heard
the place.
that,
Mhm.
yeah, so she's just gonna get in an Uber and direct them to Waffle House.
All right, Ephraim, do you join them?
Of course, yeah. He pulls up his car.
A little more covered up than normal.
Yeah.
But,
He's, just to make sure, he's still at 2 aggravated, right?
yeah. We'll say you guys meet him early. In...
Oh no.
Mhm.
Oh no.
I hope at one point Vane's kind of like pulls up at the light with one of your cars and just sees you and waves.
Just kind of looks over like. Keeps driving.
Uh-huh.
Don't know her.
Ephraim, hey, hi, it's me, Vane.
He just keeps going.
She just starts running into the street after him.
Exactly.
Starts pedaling faster, just
Try to-
like, hey.
Try to grab onto his car. And
Yeah. Just ride the speed the rest of the way to the Waffle
Oh my
House.
goodness. Yeah.
It's like Teen Wolf, you know. So,
Mhm.
is he now? Part of his face was burned, or was it just his arm?
It
It was
was
part of his face too.
yeah, a little bit had like crept up onto his face, but his face is more or less like still fine. And since you've slowly been working it, it's sort of like receded a bit more. And like, don't get me wrong, a good chunk of your body is still not great looking, but you definitely look better than you did a few
He's
nights
got
ago.
yeah. He's got a coat on, sunglasses on.
I say, well, actually, I guess technically you should be at 1 aggravated now instead of 2 because you
That's
did
fine.
you did the 3rd day of rouse checks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll show up. If he sees Yvain coming up on the scooter, he'll probably just turn around and just.
She's on a
walk
bike.
in.
She's on the motorized bike.
Yeah, he's already kind of like, all right.
She'll just pedal faster.
Yeah,
Just pedal faster.
Yeah.
he'll go in.
Okay.
Her
I don't know
muscles
if any-
can't hurt. She's dead.
So if he'll just walk in, grab a booth at the back,
Okay.
just a spot where he can kind of watch the door.
Mhm.
Keeps his sunglasses on, blade style, you know. And just,
Yeah.
and just,
Nice.
just waits.
Okay. So I'm assuming Delilah's car drove up here and she's just getting out of the car with the mask on, of course. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, late night Uber drivers or whatever are just like, whatever,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Like
They're like, I see weird shit all the time. It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But you get out of the car, and as you get out of the car and are sort of heading towards the entrance, you see out of the corner of your eye Yvain pedaling towards the Waffle House and in your general direction.
Okay, I'll just stand here and wait for her, I guess.
Oh, hey, you wanna? Hey,
Hi.
I was gonna say you wanna get on, but we're like here.
Yeah, we're here. I don't know where you got the bike. Whatever.
Oh, you can rent them.
Oh. Maybe I'll try that sometime, but not tonight. Let's go in and see if Ephraim's in there.
Oh, he should be. I saw him as well.
Oh, okay.
I
All
heard
right.
him and he drove faster.
Oh, well. Anyway,
He's such a
let's-
funny guy. And she'll follow you inside.
Yeah, we're going inside and looking around for Ephraim. I'm sure we'll find
Just-
him because he said he was looking towards the direction that we.
Yeah.
Yep. You walk in, and as you sort of scan the room, in the back corner, you see this blade-looking motherfucker sitting in the corner.
Oh, that's cute. All
just-
right.
And if a waitress comes up, he just ignores her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and and we'll say like just before they walk in, a waitress walks up to you and like asks like, "Hey, what can I do for you?" And and you just ignore her, and she stands there for like maybe 30 seconds waiting for you to respond, like maybe thinking that you're thinking about what you want, and then it registers that you're just ignoring her, and she walks away, and you sort of like hear her mutter under her voice, "Prick," and just walks away.
He's been called worse. So
All right.
wait for the rest of his coterie to join you.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's had a bad few nights. He's in kind of a surly mood. So.
Fair.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
Yeah.
So the two of you join him in the back, and you get a message on your pagers from Whisper saying, "Sorry, can't meet up right now. In a business meeting.
In Costa Rica. So.
Give me the deets later."
Okay.
He'll take off his sunglasses at least.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you guys all right?
Yeah, I waved to you in the car.
Was that you?
Yeah. We made eye contact.
Oh my.
And he kind of looks at her again.
You looked at me twice. You
He's
did a
like-
double
he's like-
take.
Yeah. That's always just yeah.
Yeah. And Delilah's leaving her mask on because she knows she has like a line of rot and didn't want to like freak people out. So
Yeah.
instead she looks like a club kid or something. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, like one of those purge masks or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Mhm.
Navane's essentially dressed like a librarian, so yeah.
Yeah, so we have a real eclectic crowd at this table right
Yes. Yes. Mhm. All right.
So, do you want me to actually go through everything in roleplay, or do you want me to just say Yvain essentially passes along information about that night?
That's okay with me.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she will kind of relay what happened the previous night. And also she will mention, like, she won't talk about what Marcus told her, but she will mention that she felt like there was a little bit of tension between the sheriff and the hound. Just a little bit. And that Marcus is not sure. Marcus is not as sure about Alyssa and Kiara's fate.
You mean Rick?
You mean Rick?
Yeah, Rick, yeah.
God, yes.
okay.
Rick
I knew
is
what you
not-
meant. Yeah.
Marcus
Yeah.
is
Marcus
going
didn't
to
do
either
shit.
die or he's going to.
Yeah,
I know what you meant. So.
Mhm.
yeah.
But
Got
yeah.
the bad boys on the brain.
You know, honestly, Marcus is so 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking about Aiden now. He seems like the type to give someone to give someone depression, honestly, and so I love that for him. Seems like a
Wow.
terrible person.
Just has the ability to just give people depression with his presence.
Yes, I will explain this more outside of game.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
Cool. Hmm. Wow. So I've been looking online to see if CC had any social media accounts, and some of them involve poetry that she was posting. I don't know if it's her poetry or not, but I definitely contacted the library to send me some poetry books to see if she was just cribbing it out or if it was her own.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So So do we need to go see Rick then?
Do we?
I mean, I think essentially we've done what has been asked of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we are curious as to know the ultimate fate of these individuals, we could probably. I kind of wanted to be there for the interrogation, but I
Hmm.
am very unsure that is in any way, shape, or form possible.
Probably not. I
Would
mean,
we be able to know
Not
the
in the
etiquette?
room, just like there
Yeah.
when the interrogation happens.
Like would we know? Is that something we can ask?
We can
I
ask
don't know if
Rick.
it's yeah. Well, what I mean is, I'm asking like the storyteller. Is that something we would know? Is that like something we would know? That's like, you just don't do that. You don't ask for things like that. Or...
I'd say you could try and find a way to phrase it in a way where you're like, hey, I know it's technically not our place, but we were involved with the case and they got brought in because of us. So we would like to be present for like the process kind of deal. But yeah, like if you're like trying to be like, you owe us or anything like that,
Yeah,
then
no,
you're like, no, that's not gonna work out. But if you have a feeling, if you like phrase it in a certain way, then it's not entirely off the table.
No, I think he's. Actually, I don't think he will. If someone else wants to.
If Van wants to, I want to.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Nosy.
Yeah.
Nosy.
Yeah. He's as much as he's curious about it, he's kind of like, nah, I think I'm gonna just hang back. So,
Okay.
but Vane, if you want to ask, go for it. So.
If I ask and get permission for all of us, do we all want to go?
I'll go with.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, I guess I might as well tag along.
Okay, so then I think I'm supposing that Vane should send this to Rick, who would then bring it up to the sheriff, correct?
That would be advisable, yes.
Okay. So... Okay. Does she have to page all of this? Can she just see, like, when he is in his office at that place we've been meeting for the past few weeks? Or not weeks, but however long.
Yeah, you can, like, ask him.
Okay. Because she'll ask when a good time to stop by would be, and I think she'll just ask him face to face, because paging all of that sounds really terrible.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to talk about kindred stuff on the phone.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
It's like, pagers, free reign, but you're like, doing all that on a pager, that'll take forever, probably.
Like hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if she's able to, she will stop by to ask him and frame it as such, like, this is probably pretty unheard of, and I understand it's probably not done, but is there any chance that we would be able to be present, not in the room of course, but just for the interrogation, as I think that we're all just somewhat invested in the fate of what's going to happen with these three that we brought in. If it's impossible, fine, but if there's any chance at all that we could participate in a way, just so that we could be there to find out what's going to happen, we would appreciate it. She didn't even make it awkward. Good job.
Yeah, good for her. Nailed it.
Progress.
Yeah, and Rick says, I'm actually slated to head over to the diocese shortly. You could tag along and wait for me to make your request, and you can go from there one way or the other.
Okay, yes. She will nod at that and say thank you. And she will let the coterie know.
Hmm.
All right.
So if the coterie would like to meet outside the how do you pronounce it? Diocese?
Diocese.
Diocese. Mm-hmm.
The diocese. That is where she will be.
All right. And so all of you convene there.
Yep.
And Rick meets you outside, and well, just for shits and gigs, and make a roll real quick. Okay. So he meets you all outside, and he said, "Thing else, I was asked to give this to you as a gift from the prince." And he hands you a piece of paper, and he sort of just like hands it out, and for whichever one of you ends up taking it.
What does it say? What does it say? I'm not chanting this out loud, but
yeah.
What's it say?
You open it up, and it appears to be earlier when you were sort of like digging into information for the house, you saw like the like deed and registry and all that for like who owned the house. And it had Kiara's name on it. And now on the deed or whatever it says Rosalind Wolf, which is the name of the prince. And Rick says the prince is gifting you the yes, is it gifting you the in such eloquent terms? Yes,
we got a crack house.
Is gifting you the home to operate as a coterie haven of sorts.
Oh, interesting.
That's wild. We got the Johnson. Awesome. Sorry, that's just funny. I love it.
Yes.
Does that then allow any hunting privileges within that? How far, like perimeter, basically, are there?
The hunting ground within the neighborhood that the house resides is now considered your coterie domain. To hunt in as you will, provided it does not bring any. Yes.
Of course.
I love it.
Other than that, it is yours to do with as you will.
All right. I'll have to let your sire know, but yes.
But now that that is out of the way,
we could be roommates.
Ephraim ain't living there. It's the office. You guys can live in there if you want. I'm not living in the crack house.
We could make it so lovely.
Put up some nice curtains and flash up the bullet holes and
you can do away with the drug den of it all. You can make it a proper home. But anyway,
a white picket fence out front.
Why not? Yeah.
I got a new mailbox at Home Depot. Anyway.
Rick says, but for your request, you have been allowed in the building at the very least.
Okay.
Nice. But Yvain will say, "Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much, Rick."
Of course. And
So, are you going to continue shadowing us?
For the foreseeable future, that is my directive, yes.
Oh, okay. Are you going to help us redecorate the drug den?
That is for you to do with as you will.
You don't want to help with remodeling?
I am not a carpenter.
And then we all go inside.
Okay.
Should totally be a shopping montage later.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. That can be beginning of season 2. It's fine.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just have a before and after.
Exactly. But for now, we you all walk into the diocese and enter that basement passage as you did before. And it's not the cells that you like left them in before. You go in a bit deeper than that. When you pass by them, you notice that Marcus's is empty. Kiara's is empty, and Alyssa's is still has her in it.
Marcus and Kiara being interrogated right now?
I'll say, but like further down the hall, even it is muffled, but you can like barely hear it. You hear what sounds like pained grunting going on.
What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, are they being beat? I'm sorry. Pain grunting meant a lot of things at like light speed in my mind, and I was like, wait.
I went there too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I promise it's not a BDSM thing. So.
Listen, I've been calling Aiden all kinds of things in my brain this whole time. So
yeah,
we're keyed in. Anyways, Van will just kind of motion like, should we just kind of quietly go down the hallway and like get as close as maybe we're respectably allowed to listen in?
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Why?
Ephraim's just gonna sit and just relax and listen.
Just listen to the pain.
He's not gonna push it. He's a kiss ass in the end. So
Okay.
he's not gonna get in trouble.
Going to get a little bit closer. We're allowed.
Yeah, I'll go with a little bit.
Like we're allowed. Thank you, Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're allowed in the building. We're not going to do anything that is disruptive to the proceedings. I think Yvain's just kind of. Is Rick are we still currently with Rick? Question mark? Exclamation point.
All right, so Ephraim, you're sort of like staying back, and Delilah and Yvain, you're getting closer.
Kind of like there's just a sitting room or a common room or something. He's gonna sit and look at his phone and he can hear it.
Yeah.
But
all right. Yeah.
involved.
Sure. You find sort of like one of the unused rooms and just like leave the door propped open and just chill on your phone, listening to the screams happening, and Delilah and Yvain, you walk closer with Rick, and I don't know why I said his name like that, but
whatever works.
but you walk it. Three of you walk over in that direction, and there is a window peek your head in to the room if you so choose to do that.
Vane will just kind of look at Delilah and look at Rick and shrug, like, is that allowed? Is it not allowed?
It's not allowed. You
Can
are
they-
here.
Yeah.
Is it like a one-way mirror sort of thing?
Not here. But sort of like at asking that, Rick sort of like gestures into like a separate room and ushers or he like opens it and if you so choose ushers you in.
This is like follow your mentor to work day. This is great.
And and as you like walk in, you see Hassan sitting in there already.
Okay.
And behind the glass, which this does appear to have sort of like a one-way mirror situation going on, you see Marcus sitting in a chair, sort of like restrained, and you see Sheriff McCoy standing a few feet away from him with his arm up like this, and you see like shadowy hands like reaching up and like digging their almost like claw-like fingers into Marcus's body. And when he lets his hand...
Wait. His hands look like what?
The like shadowy hand. He's like holding his hand up, and there's like shadowy hands reaching up from the ground and like digging into Marcus's body.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's terrifying.
And
that
he,
is said to Delilah. Sorry, but I think Vane's actually remarking out loud, like, that is terrifying.
okay.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. And he releases his hand, and the shadows don't totally dissipate, but they sort of like let go and sort of like slink down towards the bottom of the chair. And he just says, I think we're done for the moment. And he walks out of the room, and you hear the door to your room open up, and the sheriff walks in and closes the door. I see we have guests.
Yes.
Enjoying the show.
Somewhat.
Vane just kind of nods.
Yeah. And it gestures, he like looks over in Delilah's direction and says, I hear a bit of satisfaction in your voice.
He burned my hands the first time that I talked to him. I got better.
Retribution, then.
Mm-hmm.
Respectable.
I'm sorry. I feel like, is it even appropriate to ask the question about like what they're asking? Nope, probably not. Take it away, Delilah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care what happens to him. He can't hurt people like that ever again, I hope.
Noted. And you, Ms. Mallory, what are your thoughts on the matter? You are here, after all. You may as well share them.
I think that even though it's unfortunate that some of my coterie got harmed while we pursued these thin bloods, that if any of them can be useful, then that is a more valuable thing to us than their demise.
Agreed. Unfortunately, the one proved less than cooperative, so she has been dealt with.
Oh?
This Alyssa has proven much more cooperative, and there may be a place for her yet. Marcus here, I think he needs a bit more time to think. And you see him sort of like make a gesture with his hand, and you see this you see like the lingering shadows under the chair sort of like spread out under him, like flatten and spread out, until the floor sort of it looks like this pitch black void, and the sheriff just gestures his hand downward, and Marcus sinks into the floor, and and the shadows then collapse in on themselves and vanish.
Yvain is having a feeling. Yvain's like, damn, that was hot.
Wow.
He's not dead.
He's not? What is he?
You wish he
held
was
somewhere?
though.
I mean, well, yes, but I assume he's not getting out of wherever he went.
Not unless I wish it.
Ah, good to know.
I think Yvain just kind of looks absolutely transfixed. Like, she's just still staring at the room, like, damn.
All right.
He may prove useful as of yet, but he can suffer until then.
I agree.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Definitely. Wherever he went to he's not going to be able to hurt anyone ever again. Right?
Correct.
Good. You can tell she's got a grudge against Marcus.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well.
There is no more of this going on this evening,
Okay.
but feel free to linger or leave, whatever you prefer.
All right.
Hassan,
Thank you for
Rick,
allowing us in the building.
of course. And he gestures to Hassan and Rick to follow him, and he sort of just leaves you to your devices.
Okay. Well, I guess we're done. I'm gonna walk out of the little room we were in and go find Ephraim.
As soon as they all get back downstairs, I think Yvain's just like, the sheriff. And that's it. Still a little bit stunned, but it's like, the sheriff. She doesn't elaborate.
Okay.
You should have come up with us, Ephraim. It was interesting.
He kind of looks up from his phone. Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yep. It was extremely interesting.
It was strange and
Kiara's dead.
And
not
Marcus has been sent through a floor somehow.
into
Don't think he's getting out.
some kind of shadow realm.
I don't know. There were shadows.
He's sunk into the floor.
Yeah.
Good. Hope he's in hell.
Maybe.
Kind of looks back at his phone. Just
I don't care where he goes. I just don't want to see him ever again.
he's looking to see if he could still make the club, and then maybe do a shortened set.
You think there's a possibility that you could do like one or two short sets,
just so people don't forget about him. It's been a while since he did it.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a few days. He's practically lost all relevance by now.
Oh yeah, well in that world, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So we done here?
Yeah.
I think so. Thanks for all of your help, Rick.
Yep. You're welcome, and congrats on the new haven.
Yes. We'll fix it up.
Yeah.
And
It'll be a nice project.
yeah, and as you guys are sort of like talking to him, the sheriff says, "Rick," and
where?
he was like walking away.
Come downstairs.
No, he was like walking away, and he was like gesturing for Rick to follow him and Hassan, but
he is like, his dog. So.
But he like got held up, and and he's like, "All right, glad you're having a moment. Come on, got shit to do."
Chop.
Yeah.
He's like, "We'll talk more later."
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Yep.
And he walks off and follows them.
All right. Time to get out.
Sounds like a good plan. I
So,
guess we'll go our separate ways for now. And...
well, we can. I mean, we can also check out the house, but it's a little late now, so.
Well, and I think Ephraim's itching to go
to the club. we know. Yeah.
He's an awful person. What can I say? He's vain and self-centered. So
Yeah.
Maybe we can check it out tomorrow or something.
Okay, that'll be fine.
I trust your opinion on how crack houses go.
Oh,
I've been there once, so.
I mean, that was my first crack house, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
but I have an idea of how a house maybe could look.
Yeah, we could do that. Put some paint on the walls, whatever.
Find a late open furniture store.
Yeah.
Don't they all usually close at 6 p.m.?
Ephraim was actually thinking about we're gonna need like security or something, and
probably
maybe need like a live-in ghoul who can watch the place during the day. So
that could work. That could work.
Yeah.
Is that something we can arrange and like talk about?
I mean, it's too bad that we can't just have Alyssa join the coterie to keep an eye on her for the Camarilla, because she's thin blood. Can't she be up during the day?
I don't
all.
I don't want to mess with any of that.
Nope. Clean slate. Just let the sheriff decide what to do with her, or the prince decide what to do with her.
That's probably best. Yeah.
I suppose that's fair. I just thought we were making a new friend.
I don't know. I'm gonna just let higher ups do it. I don't want to get in the way of any of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to usurp that.
I know my place, and I'm not not messing with it. So.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Jose could be a good property manager. So.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So, if we all move in together into that house, how do you feel about rats? Because that's what I've been eating from. It's just more ethical.
Ephraim is very adamant that he is not going to move in.
Oh, you're not? Okay, well.
Help yourself. It's an office.
But,
That's
like,
all it is.
but you could. You know, you could if you wanted to. You don't want to now, but if you ever changed your mind, you could.
The whole place makes me a little itchy.
Well, it won't once it no longer is like a crack house.
We can clean it up.
He's like touching his arm, like.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have fond memories of that place.
Okay. Understood.
You could have the den to like work on your sets.
I'm good.
I tried.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
no amount of persuasion will be able to get him to go back in that house.
And also
live
the-
there.
Maybe
There.
tomorrow.
And
Maybe
also,
tomorrow
there's a
he'll
player
feel
not
good.
here, so I'd rather.
Mm-hmm.
Ephraim doesn't want it, and we'll see if Whisper wants.
Yeah.
some of
If,
it, so.
see
I
if
think-
see if the three of them move in, and Ephraim's
Exactly.
like, I will only visit.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
So the three of you go your separate ways for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, as you all head your separate ways, Evane, you get a message on your
From Aiden.
no.
Try.
One can dream though. We can leave that for the fantasies, but
Right?
Oh my.
somebody's down bad.
It's
But
about the religious guilt. I don't know. It's also playing
Anyway.
a part into it.
anyway, we are. You get a message on your pager from Merrick Kroll, the man who walked
Another
up to you,
person-
the man who first approached you that first night in Elysium, and he says, "Ms. Mallory, it has been some time. Care to have a chat?" And that's where we will end the season.
Oh, neat.
Oh,
Okay.
God, shit.
That's good.
Wait.
Wait!
Yeah.
That's
good.
No.
I'm gonna wait about
The
2 months.
cliffhanger,
We'll find
yeah.
out.
He's gonna die. Oh, man.
Mm.
No.
Thank you, our storyteller.
Yeah, this is fun.
Thank
That's awesome.
you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me to do this. I had a lot of fun.
Yes, happily. I like as soon as I thought about like running a vampire game, I'm like, I gotta try and get Tiara. I gotta make it. I gotta try at least.
Yep. Brings a lot to it, honestly. You know? Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
I've had so much fun. So thank you guys all.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
And I think this is probably a good time to announce that we are going to have a season 2.
Let's go. With the same
and-
characters or different?
Yes, same characters.
Okay.
I would say unless you really want to switch it up, then it can be. Then you can it'd be like, actually, Evane, not feeling her anymore. I want to do something different.
Okay.
Listen,
So-
I could do a whole lot of things.
I know you could.
Okay.
So we will be back at the moment Friday, October 11th.
Okay.
So about 2 months,
Ooh.
folks. So
Mhm.
if you've enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like if you wouldn't mind. That helps us out a lot. Before we wrap up, let's see if there's anybody who has anything they want to talk about. I don't know. I'm going to pick on Jen first.
Yes, of course.
Shattered
Hi.
Soulstone.
Yes, I am. I am the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. It focuses on the Diablo games and whatever's going on in those. Typically, you can find it at shatteredsoulstone.com, and new episodes generally show up every Saturday.
Alrighty. And Storyteller.
Yeah. Well, in the immediate future, this Wednesday is the season finale of Light and Shadows, our Symbaroom game on the channel, and it's looking like our group may have finally found what they were looking for all season.
You know, and we kept looking up. We're looking everywhere. So I had a feeling we probably walked right by it or something like that. It was one time we failed a roll or something.
Who's to say?
He
Not
won't
me. I won't tell.
All right. Well, after that, then you get a break for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I do get. Yes, I do get a
Mhm.
couple break. Yeah, I do get a break up until this
Right.
starts up again, and
Mhm.
I got like potential plans for like other things like down the pipeline. But season 2 of this will be like the most immediate thing in my near future.
Okay. Well, for me in here, next week, Wednesday, we have the next episode of Candela Obscura, our new game. The Circle of Unfettered Spirits is the name of the series. Wednesday is, again, that's going to be Simbrum. And then Thursday is back to Werewolf.
Cool.
And then that's it for the week. So we have lots of good stuff coming up. We have some more Call of Cthulhu coming up.
Mhm.
We have Mothership is coming up in September, and then we're jumping back into Wraith. Finally,
Neat.
after we finish up Werewolf, we'll be picking up Wraith again. So lots of good stuff coming up here on the channel. So I hope you can enjoy it with us. So from all of us, good night, everybody, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.